Constructivism is the final major learning paradigm. Constructivism is built upon many of the cognitivist principles found in the work of Ken, Piaget, and Vygotsky, to name a few. However, as a learning theory, constructivism asserts that learners construct knowledge based on what they already understand, as they make connections between new information and old information, according to constructivist learning. New concepts of learning environment are a result of interaction between prior knowledge, ideas, and personal experience, and the new information. In the classroom, the constructivist view of learning can point towards a number of different teaching practices. Constructivist theories are expected to create personal interpretation of the information by bringing their past experience and cultural identity into the mix. The typical classroom has a variety of learners who bring different experiences, needs, and learning styles to the table. In conclusion, constructivism is a theory to explain how knowledge is constructed in the human being when information comes into contact with exciting knowledge that has been developed by experiences.
Biologist and psychologist Jean Piaget was born on August 9, 1896 in Switzerland. He was his parents' first child. Piaget's mother, Rebecca Jackson, attributed Piaget's intense early interest in the sciences to his own neurotic tendencies. Piaget's father, a medieval literature professor named Harold, modeled Piaget's dedication to his studies. Jean Piaget began to emulate from an early age. At just 10 years old, Piaget's fascination with mollusks drew him to the local Museum of Natural History, where he studied at specimens for hours on end. When Piaget was 11 years old and attending Latin High School, Piaget wrote a short scientific paper of the albino sparrow. By the time he was a teen, his papers on mollusks were being widely published. Piaget's writers were unaware of his age and considered him an expert on the topic. Later, in 1920s, Piaget worked in collaboration with Theodore Simon at the Alfred Binet Laboratory in Paris. Piaget evaluated the result of standardized reasoning tests that Simon had designed. The tests were meant to measure child intelligence and draw connection between a child's age and the nature of his error. For Piaget, it raised a new question about the way that children learn. Sadly, Jean Piaget died of unknown causes on September 16, 1980. In Switzerland, he was 84 years old. His body rests at the cemetery of Plain Palais. Such as shaking or throwing things, putting things in their mouth, and learning about the world through trial and error. Later, about age 7 to 9 months, infants began to realize that an object exists even if it can no longer be seen. This important milestone, known as an object permanence, is a sign that memory is developing. After infants start crawling, standing, and walking, their increased physical mobility leads to increased cognitive development. Near to the end of the sensory-motor stage, infants reach early language development, a sign that they are developing some symbolic abilities. Pre-operational stage. During this stage, young children are able to think about things symbolically. Their language use becomes more mature. They also develop memory and imagination. which allows them to understand the difference between past and future and engage in making believe. But their thinking is based on intuition and still not completely logical. They cannot yet grasp more complex concepts such as cause and effect, time, and comparison. Concrete operational stage. Elementary age and pre-adolescent children demonstrate logical concrete reasoning. Children's thinking becomes less egocentric and they are increasingly aware of external events. They begin to realize that one's own thoughts and feelings are unique and may not be shared by others or may not even be part of reality. Children also develop operational thinking, the ability to perform reversible mental actions. During this stage, however, most children still can tackle a problem with several variables in a systematic way. Formal operational stage. Adolescents who reach this fourth stage of intellectual development are able to logically use symbols related to abstract concepts, such as algebra and science. They can think about multiple variables in systematic ways, formulate hypotheses, and consider possibilities. They also can ponder abstract relationships and concepts such as justice. Although Piaget believed that the formal operational stage is the final stage of cognitive development, and that continued intellectual development in adults depends on the accumulation of knowledge.
Right now, I am going to talk about Lev Vygotsky. Lev Vygotsky was born on November 17 in the year 1896. Vygotsky was born in Orsha, a city in the western region of the Russian Empire. He attended Moscow State University, where he graduated with a degree in law in 1917. He studied a range of topics with attending university, including sociology, linguistics, psychology, and philosophy. His formal work in psychology didn't begin until 1924, when he attended the Institute of Psychology in Moscow. Also, his work has formed a foundation for constructivist theories. Vygotsky shared many of Piaget's views about child development, but he was more interested in the social aspects of learning. Vygotsky differs from discovery learning, which is also based on Piaget's idea, in that the teachers and older children play important roles in learning. The teacher is typically active and involved. The zone of proximal development is a concept for which Vygotsky is well known. It refers to the observation that children, when learning a particular task or body of information, start out by not being able to do the task, then they can do it with the assistance of an adult or child mentor, and finally they can do it without the assistance. Vygotsky's observation led him to propose a complex relationship between language and thought. He proposed that speech and thought have different origins within the human individual. He described thoughts as non-verbal and speech as having a pre-intellectual stage. So that is the contribution of Vygotsky about the psychology.
Going to talk about Immanuel Kant. He was born in Königsberg, East Prussia in 1724. He studied at the University of Hamburg, where he spent his academic career focusing on philosophy, mathematics, and physics. He is a central figure of modern philosophy, and he was a very important philosopher. Kant's study on the integration of rationalism and empiricism indicate kind of constructivism. In his opinion, the subject cannot open toward the external world directly, only by the constructor internally. principal cognitive rules. The subject can organize experience and develop knowledge. Later, along with the transfer of structuralism methodology toward post-structuralism, the absolute status of rationalism is broken further. Constructivism learning theory comes into being from the development of cognitivism turning into a new learning theory. As an interpretation can constructivism purports to be an alternative both realism and to realism. Kantian constructivism names a family of ethical theories inspired by Kant's ethics. The distinguishing feature of Kantian constructivism is that it accounts for the nature of moral and normative truth, starting from consideration about the future of rational agency. First, what he called Kantian constructivism in ethics appears to be a comprehensive moral theory defined by its contrast with the rational idea that moral judgments are based on perception of an independent moral order. In that way, he presented his own justice as fairness as an illustration of this kind of Kantian constructivism. Finally, we can say that constructivism is also based on Kantian belief according to which learners are active perceivers and interpreters who construct their own reality and their own knowledge through engaging in mental activities. According to constructivism, cumulative experience results in successful learning.